Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me this week, I have Ben.
Hello.
And that's it.
That's all we could muster.
That's all we've got this time. Admittedly, Eddie did give us advance warning. He's told us a while ago that he wasn't here. Kirk, of course, saves it for today.
Oh, we know what Kirk's about, though. We know what Kirk's about.
We know what he brings.
He sends a message, he says sorry, gives some kind of heartfelt feel, and then you've got to go back to him and say, it's all right, mate. It's okay. Yeah. Just so that he doesn't feel bad and that squirrels away at him. But,
exactly, just to validate his absenteeism. Yes.
but we are where we are.
We
couldn't get anyone else. We couldn't get. I did ask a couple of people, but from next week, you're not here next week or the week after, and we should have Donnie and we should have Punk returning as well.
Yeah.
So we should have plenty of people.
I know. I'm actually very disappointed to be missing this, especially the return of Punk, because it feels like it's been a while since we had him.
It has been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. So we that'll be class.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So that should tide you over for the next 2 weeks. But for this week, it is just us two. And we are, of course, going to do our best to bring you the news and the new releases, which, not the longest, but there's a couple of goodies in there, aren't there?
There are some goodies, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you removed one rightfully because the date had changed, but we'll cover that later. We've got a very brief what we've been playing, because it's nothing new, really.
Nope.
No. There's one new game, actually. There's one little bit of news.
And I've finished some stuff, so yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And our feature this week is, annoyingly, what the key feature is in our favourite game genres for us. And I say annoyingly because I had to say feature twice in 4 words, and that pisses me off. But
this feature would have worked with a bigger group as well. That would have been more. It would probably be interesting, but it'll still be interesting.
Exactly. Should be lovely. But we should get started with the quick news.
Let's do it. Firstly, CD Projekt Red have unionised after the devs there have unionised after the latest 3rd round of layoffs. Now, I wasn't aware that was 3 rounds, but so unionised.
Yeah, I think that's wise for them. But you also think these layoffs are surely part of the natural cycle again. Like they've just finished a big release.
Yeah, and I think, but I can understand in the industry at the moment there is a view to needing protection because it's industry wide, but there will be a centralization soon. Like surely everything will kind of level out and things like that. So we'll see what happens there. But Call of Duty Warzone mobile version has been delayed into 2024. I didn't even know it was coming out this year, but it's been delayed into 2024. This is probably big news. Call of Duty Mobile is fucking huge, right? It's absolutely massive, but it's not our demographic. Like, we're never playing Call of Duty on a mobile, even though I don't mind Call of Duty. I quite like it, but I'm never doing that. But amongst kids, I reckon lunchtime, school bus, playing Warzone.
I mean, yeah, you would think that would be a draw, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be massive. I think Call of Duty Mobile is absolutely monstrous, so...
Okay, so big issues with the delay, but as we've learned many times, better to delay than release a bad game.
Whew, maybe not on mobile because people buy it anyway.
Yeah,
don't know. Right, the critically acclaimed Dave the Diver is getting a content update in October. I think it's free, and I think it comes via a patch whenever it drops. I don't think the date is known yet. The upcoming Switch release of that is in a few weeks' time. I'm not sure if that patch will be available on the Switch version, but I assume it will be because this seems like just genuine additions to the game, like areas being more populated or more quests in certain areas and that type of stuff. So, but Dave the Diver got fantastic reviews. I know that Punk actually reviewed it for Pure Dead Gaming on the website there. So, and he gave it, I think, a 9 out of 10. So,
okay,
yeah,
it's crazy to me that this game has 50,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews.
I want to buy, like, this weekend just gone past, I thought, I was like, oh, do I buy Dave the Diver? I thought it was actually already out on the Switch for some reason, but it's actually in a couple of weeks. If it was out on the Switch, I probably would have just bought it. I know I could get it on Steam Deck, but I just feel more comfortable playing games on the Switch in terms of the Joy-Cons and everything.
Yeah.
So, but I am very interested in this game, but it's just, when do you get it?
Yeah, I don't know. Competing with Cyberpunk and other current releases seems a bit difficult. But
that's it. I was like, I couldn't justify buying it when I was like, well, I have enough for the weekend. It's fine.
I'm still baffled by this. The game looks... I mean, 50,000 people can't be wrong. It's a 90 on Metacritic. Yeah.
We'll get on to our feature where we'll be talking about our favourite things, and I think that's one of the things where David the Diver might hit for somebody like me. But yeah,
okay.
Let's move it on. PlayStation Plus Premium members can now watch some Sony films, as their membership now has access to some of the rebranded Netflix-like subscription service that they've got. Don't know too much about it. We talked about it on the Pure Dead PlayStation podcast the other day, and I think it's just adding stuff into that top tier of the PlayStation Plus, which pretty much is PlayStation Plus Extra, plus the ability, I think, to stream like PS2 games or something. Like, it's a very weak reason to need the top tier of the PlayStation Plus.
Yes.
So I think they're just adding stuff in here because it sounds like, I didn't even know they had this subscription service. That sounds like it's on fucking death's door. Like, who's buying that?
Yeah, exactly.
Who the fuck's buying that? So you might as well have like a free version that's wrapped up and put in your PlayStation Plus Premium, so that people then go, ooh, this is good, and then may move on to the full subscription.
Just package it up together and move on with life. Yes.
Exactly, yeah. So more stuff in PlayStation Plus Premium, please, and maybe we might give it a look. Next up, Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a live action adaptation.
It is indeed.
So more Cyberpunk, I think, from both of us is a great idea. We love it. This is following them also announcing that they've sold 25 million copies of the base game and 3 million copies in the first week of Phantom Liberty expansion. So very impressive. Very, very impressive. It's very impressive numbers given the amount of people that probably returned it at the start.
Are they including returns in that figure?
Yes, we don't know how they wrap these things up, do we?
Yeah, but I think to focus on the live action bit for a second, this sounds really exciting. So it's partnered with Anonymous Content. They made Mr. Robot. They made True Detective. They worked on the film The Revenant. Yeah, this is a really good creative team. Like, I mean, they don't have a screenwriter yet because it's really early stages, but this is a team with a really good track record. I am really intrigued because live action, it can go one of two ways, and it can just look weird. I appreciate what they did with Edge Runners with the anime, because putting it out as an anime was a great idea. Like, it worked. Live action sounds amazing, but it could easily be tragic. Yeah. Well, it's with a good team, so let's hope not.
Yeah. So, but I think, like, with Cyberpunk over the last few weeks, it seems like Cyberpunk is one of the most impressive gaming comebacks we've known of. I mean, No Man's Sky and Final Fantasy XIV were big examples of that, but I can't think of many others that have had this turnaround in a game. And I said it many times over the last couple of weeks, but if the game had come out in its entirety as it is now, I think we'd just be speaking about it. People would be speaking about it so differently. But regardless of the success, they're still laying people off. So work that out.
Yeah.
Work that out. Next up, Rockstar has added a 60 frames per second mode to Red Dead Redemption, the first one on PS5, but it hasn't added it to the Xbox version, supposedly. Bastards.
Yeah.
However, will the 5 people that are playing that game? But yeah, there's been uproar. So
from all 5 of them, or
I
Only
imagine.
40%.
But people love to complain. Oh, where's our update? Well, who the fuck's playing that? I mean, I can understand people on Switch playing it because it's just come out there. But but come on now, like, who gives a fuck? Yeah, if you want to play it in 60 FPS, play it on PS5. And then lastly, on the quick news, not long after shutting down the Wii U and 3DS eShops, which happened last March, Nintendo have revealed plans to discontinue most of the remaining online services for those consoles in spring 2024.
Shocking.
Yeah, I think it all sounds to me like they're geeing up for Switch 2. And they don't want to just have all of this backlog of servers and all this kind of stuff. And it must just, because it's not only keeping it alive and those costs and everything, it's the maintenance of it. I mean, I think it might have been like the eShop or something like that on one of the consoles, maybe the 3DS. It was down like for months. We talked about it regularly, how it was just down, and they just didn't bring it back because I don't know, the maintenance guy was on holiday.
Yeah,
it's, these things need to be maintained. So I can understand they probably just want to let it go. But it does bring into question the backwards compatibility stuff about Switch 2, and I think if they don't make that backwards compatible, seeing it's everything they've put into the Switch, I think because if the Wii U, yes, it does, because if the Wii U and 3DS eShops aren't there, I can understand like backwards compatibility not being a massive focus if you kept everything open and people could buy stuff. But if you're shutting stuff down and you've moved a lot onto the Switch is really important. And I think, but then you're closing it down like what people buy.
Yeah.
So you're going, okay, we'll buy the new console, and I think you have to have backwards compatibility. So,
yes. Yeah. No.
Surely
they're going to find some way to have it. Surely.
I don't know. I'm scared because Nintendo are Nintendo. They do something really obvious and make a good thing. They do like the GameCube, and they go, that's a cool console. It didn't sell particularly well, but that's cool. And then they do the Wii, and you're like, okay, that sells like hotcakes, but my God, what the fuck is that? And the Switch, that's cool. That's like, yeah, that's a great little thing. And then they'll probably fuck it up somehow. And then the Switch 2.
You're sounding very belittling, Ben. Are we turning you against Nintendo as well?
No, it's just that they have a thing. Like, as I said, like the Wii sells great, the Wii U shit. Like, it's just, they kind of go up and down, don't they? And it's just their time of having massive success to then go, let's have a massive failure now. Let's try and push the boat out and do something crazy. It's like, no, just give us a souped up Switch. Yeah. Just give us a Super Switch.
Well, we can only wait and see, really, can't we?
Yes. But that's the quick news.
That was the quick news. And that brings us on to the main news this week. And I start off with a biggie, by the way. There's a lot of people waiting for this, which is that Redfall has finally had an update. Oh, yeah.
They were waiting, like, round the block for that.
I mean, yes. I should add, by the way, the reason I say so many are waiting for this is its concurrent player numbers are insane right now. They are single figures. Literal single figures at points. To the point where, actually, at one point last week, there were only 3 people online in Redfall.
Yeah, on Steam, right?
On Steam.
Yeah.
Not even enough for a full multiplayer party. 3 people. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yes, so I'm sure those 3 people were waiting with bated breath to know that the 60 FPS mode has finally arrived on Xbox Series X and S. And this is part of a major patch that also brings improved performance on PC, stealth takedowns, increased enemy counts, and much more. So, the 60 FPS mode we heard about first in April, after Bethesda broke the news that it was going to be locked at 1440p and 30 FPS at launch.
Yep.
Yeah, they did then say a performance mode would be added at some point, and here we are, 5 months later.
Yeah. You get a lot of people online with this saying, you should give it another try. They've even tweeted reviewers of it and gone, right, are you going to give it another shot now? So hang on a sec. Like, I know they've made some improvements to the gameplay, it would seem. But fundamentally, it wasn't the frames per second that was my issue with this game. And I know they've changed some things, but the AI was absolute dog shit. it just felt really bad.
Yeah, I don't think performance mode was the key issue here with this game. Like, apparently there is some performance and stability upgrades as well with this, and fixes for crashes and stuff. Again, I don't think those are your issue. I think the issue was the game isn't very good.
I'm glad they supported it, but it's not like it was a Cyberpunk situation where the game just didn't fucking run.
Yeah,
it was actually people fundamentally looking at the game and saying, oh, what you've got here probably isn't anything worth playing.
Yes.
And that doesn't really change, and it's a sad state of affairs. But the amount of time and effort that would have gone into this, you just think, is this going to get them more money? It does this. What's the marginal product of that? Like, what do they get paid as a result of this? Like, who's going out and buying a physical copy of Redfall, or who is signing up for Game Pass to play Redfall, or is Redfall going to keep them on the service? It's like, I would love to think that in a year's time, Redfall actually has a decent player count, and it's like, okay, let's play some Redfall. That's fine. Like, I don't mind jumping into that, a bit like Borderlands type thing. But I cannot see it. Like, I can't see it.
I really can't either. I don't think there's very few games that can recover from this bad a launch, and it's very different from those that launch with bugs or with issues or with problems, but are still fundamentally a good game. And those where it's just kind of like, you had a good concept, but you've executed it really poorly. Like, it's not that it's a badly performing game, it's just what you've made didn't live up to the potential.
It's one of those where I only played it for a few hours, and I talked about it on this podcast, but I went in with it with high hope. Like, I was really looking forward to Redfall. Redfall was one of my most anticipated games of the year. I remember mocking you
for it. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And rightly so, it turns out. But yeah, I was really, really looking forward to it. And when I am really looking forward to a game, virtually universally, I will enjoy that game. Even if it's dog shit.
Yeah.
I will enjoy that game because I have bought into it. I am on the fucking horse. I'm going. But no.
This one.
Oh boy. And during this week,
first start.
he said there are obviously single-digit players. I did see something that said after this announcement there was a 1,000% uptick from 5 to 50 players.
Jesus Christ.
Damn. I wonder what it is now. It's probably higher. People probably are playing it. People might be playing it on Xbox, but I know there are people out there like saying, "Oh, it's a better game," but unless you're doing a whole rework, I can't see it. And at the moment, with all these games coming out, like,
it's not a good time to be Redfall. Just to round out the rest of the update, by the way, lighting and clothing tweaks have been made.
Oh, okay.
And aim assist was improved. So,
well, that could be good.
Yeah, I mean, all of this stuff is super critical and will turn the game around.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're working on lighting and clothing, you're like, oh, nobody's going to see this and nobody's going to wear this.
Yeah, maybe those 3 to 50 people will love it.
Yeah, I mean, I did hear from a reliable YouTuber that I watch all the time. He played and completed Redfall, but he did it as a group with people. He didn't care about the story, and he said it was perfectly passable. Like, it's fine.
It's fine. Wonderful. It's fine. Damning with faint praise at its finest. But move us on, Ben. What was the other big news this week?
Let's talk about Naughty Dog, because Naughty Dog had a lot of stories. So multiple stories, some more concrete than others.
Of course.
I'll start with that. None of these are particularly concrete, but some more concrete than others. Firstly, Naughty Dog is reportedly cutting ties with a lot of its contractors, which won't impact the core team, but just the contractors. Kotaku reported that dozens of contractors will be let go. Again, supposedly, the QA team is the team most impacted, and it does always seem to be the QA teams that are being cut now. We had a story last week where QA teams have been cut and they're moving it to more of an outsourced team and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's that. They won't receive any severance pay. And people are being pressured to keep it quiet, supposedly. But they will remain in post until the end of October, so this month. I do find it. A lot of these articles that are written at the moment are trying to be quite emotive about this stuff. And with contractors, we've talked about it a number of times, haven't we? They did like paid staff being let go, and there's contractors, which, that's kind of how you live. I mean, I am a consultant. That's what I do as a job. I could be sacked any day.
Yes,
or moment. Not asked to do. That's what you get.
Completely disposable. Yes.
Yeah, that's what you get. And you get paid in accordance with that.
Yes.
Whatever that rule set. And that may not be what some people are after. Maybe they would rather be employees, but they are not. So when the idea of severance pay is, there's no severance pay. Of course, there's no fucking severance pay.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah, that's it.
The other,
and even, I'm sorry, go on.
I was just going to say the other bit with this, and like the fact that it does seem to be Q&A being pushed out to be outsourced. Surely they're just getting picked up by the company doing the outsourcing?
Well, I am thinking about QA because all these companies seem to be laying that off. Then maybe QA is just moving towards more of an outsourced model.
Exactly.
I mean, we don't know enough about the industry to say that, but it would imply, because we had a company, whoever it was, last week, specifically saying they moved to outsource QA. And yes. There are no doubt companies that run that service. So yeah, there was that pressure to keep it quiet thing as well. Like, I find that's all cloak and daggers when in articles, because it's like it's not attributed to anybody, and it's just like, that's a thing that they've been told. Yes, because somebody probably said, can you not go shouting about it? Can we control the flow of information going out? Yeah. And then suddenly it's like, oh no, they're being pressured. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, people respond very differently to mild sentences, don't they?
Yeah. So that was the first story. Okay, so the contractors being let go. Yeah. Now this is linked to another Kotaku article that reported that Last of Us Factions, the multiplayer live service game, is now on ice. So they state that it's not completely cancelled, but it's basically on ice at this point.
Okay.
So reportedly, Sony got Bungie involved because Bungie, live service, Destiny, they are pretty fucking good at it. They got Bungie involved to evaluate the game as a live service option, and it got the thumbs down. So it got told to go back, cook it up a bit more, and we've heard nothing about this game apart from some concept art. It's been in development for a long time. Yes. There was no multiplayer in part 2, and there was no multiplayer in part 1 remake, so it was almost like this Factions game was supposed to be the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And it was fully in their plans. So, I don't know. So that's what Kotaku have said. It's not been reported anywhere else, but my hot take is that this kind of has to come out.
Yeah.
Like, The Last of Us as an IP is fucking huge. Sony surely wouldn't let that go. Like, let's just say Bungie came back and said, nah, mate, it's fucking garbage. What they've done is absolute dog shit. Like, it's naughty dog shit. And they did go, well, okay, well, just don't do that and do something good. Like, sit down in a room, in the same room for a month, we don't care, and just talk it out. Like, make something that works, because this franchise is too big to pass up an opportunity when Sony have banked on these live service games supposedly going forward, or at least they want to invest heavily in them. Surely, when you've got a team like Bungie there at your disposal as well to help, it might take longer, but it's got to come out, surely.
Well, I mean, first reaction to this, by the way, this could just be someone at Kotaku throwing a lot of shade.
Yep.
Immediately, two linked articles on this.
Yep. Agree.
You are right that it is probably too big a franchise to just put on ice with anything. Maybe they've got something else going on they want to work on instead.
Maybe, but see, that's the other thing. Like, Sony keep their cards close to their chest. We don't know anything really about next year. They obviously have things planned for coming out, and I think that because they're in the dominant position, they don't need to be shouting about it. So it is there. They could be working on other things. And I also think with this contractor issue, like, I don't think, Last of Us Factions might be in trouble. No fucking idea. That maybe some people are saying it is. Let's say it is on ice or what have you. But it's getting, this story in particular is getting more traction because of the contractor thing. But that just means that QA is potentially being outsourced, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Like, and it also means they were contractors. You can get a team back when required.
Yes.
Like, you don't employ people. Let's say that the game is, okay, we need to work on this for another 6 months before we're even going to have anything for them to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was story number 2 of Naughty Dog. We have one more, Pete. We have one more story.
Oh my God. Okay.
They've been busy. Naughty Dog, a developer on LinkedIn for them, in his profile, on their profile, I don't know who they were. They state that they worked on a remastered version of Last of Us 2.
Okay. Well, we are reaching for this one. Okay,
Yep. So in July, the game's composer said that he had worked on a new edition of The Last of Us where you can interact with him in the town and he can play like songs for you or something bullshit like that. Which implied that they were making a version which had new features or some kind of expanded stuff to it.
Yes.
But yeah, this remaster, the idea of a remaster has now been taken by everyone because some developers literally said it in their profile.
Oh my God. Okay.
It's already 2K and 1440p at 60 frames per second on PS5, and it's one of the best looking games of all time. Like, it was on PS4 originally. It's already one of the best looking games of all time, in my opinion. I think, again, on this, if true, I think this is just going to be one of those £10 or £15 upgrades that we've seen before that we haven't seen for a while from Sony.
Yeah,
like,
it's been a little while.
I reckon it could be that, and they could release the game at £70, and with Series 2 of The Last of Us or whatever they want to do. But I reckon it could just be like a £10, £15, and you can upgrade your current version, or you can buy the version for 70 quid, something like that. Like, they haven't done that in ages, and they surely to God cannot release like they did with Part 1. This came out in 2020. It came out 3 years ago.
I would not be surprised, Ben. I would not be surprised if that's what they are doing.
That would be ballsy.
I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I still think the first one was a massive rip-off to do it anyway like that.
It was because I've got it, and I was lucky enough to kind of be bought it. It's a lovely version of the game, but it's a 10-hour game.
Yeah,
it's a 10-hour fucking game.
Yeah, and
like,
it's just insane.
And they don't have the multiplayer that they had on the original version. I mean, like, come on now. I know they got the DLC in there, but so it's a bit longer. But the base game is like 10 fucking hours.
Exactly.
And people that are like, oh, you can't judge a game for the number of hours. Yes, you fucking can.
Yeah,
that's £7 an hour.
Yeah, exactly. And for something you've already played before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's probably not your first time.
Recently as well.
Yes, yeah. I've played it recently. A lot of us played it recently, but this one in particular, The Last of Us 2. A lot of us have played it very recently. So
I hope you're right, and it's a £15 upgrade.
It would be a shame, I think, if it wasn't, purely for the fact that Naughty Dog, for so long, have been the premier studio at PlayStation. Now, obviously, Santa Monica and Insomniac, and like Insomniac are doing things. Insomniac are working. They are working right now. But they've got some killer studios over there. It'd just be a shame for Naughty Dog to be like where you don't view them as that anymore. And you're just like, they're just.
I don't know. Perception's already shifted a bit for me, but. Anyone who tries to resell a game that's not new for 70 quid is going to get a bad rip from me. So what do I know? But I will say, it is also baffling how these stories start out. This is a small update to someone's LinkedIn page.
Oh, who's checking that?
I know.
Like how many contacts has that person got? That you got somebody on LinkedIn who looks at your profile and highlights it and puts it on fucking Reddit or something?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus wept.
How deep do these people go? Like,
and how, like, where does your mind go? I mean, like, who looks that? Oh, my days, let's whip that on Reddit.
Where are you finding the time to do this in between playing other games? Like,
exactly. Yes.
Come
I asked that about many people on Twitter in general. Like, when people were just putting out loads of screenshots and stuff like that on Twitter, I think, aren't you playing the game? Like,
no,
what are you taking screenshots for? And then, it would take me about fucking an hour to work out how to upload something. So maybe that's my issue, more my issue than anyone else's.
Yeah, they're doing it in seconds. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Right. Well, lots of Naughty Dog. Lots of stuff.
Lots of Naughty Dog. I don't think there was an awful lot of other main news, so...
No, there definitely wasn't. So lots of Cyberpunk and lots of Naughty Dog this week. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, perfect. So we're on to the new releases, and I have culled some of these, I will be honest. So we're down to a tight sort of 10 or so that I've kept on the list. And we'll start with Haunted House, which comes to PC, PS5, PS4, Xboxes, PlayStation, Switch, on October the 12th. Creep, sneak, and dash your way through the hordes of ghouls and eerie ectoplasms in this roguelite reimagining of the classic Atari adventure. So yeah, this literally is a very old game that's been reimagined. It's a stealth roguelite.
Yes.
Yeah. This isn't meant offensively, but it looks to me a bit like a Nintendo game. Like,
okay.
It reminds me of Luigi's Mansion immediately, if you know what I mean. Like,
except Luigi's Mansion is a beautiful looking game, but yeah. But
right,
yes,
right, okay, sure, yeah. We all wear different glasses, Ben. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not sure what the market is for this, but it looks well produced.
The animations look cracking.
Yeah,
when you're rolling and shit, but
and it's in time for Halloween, like.
Yeah, and it's like a cartoony Halloween game.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, if you are a fan of, if you know what this is, you might be interested. I think that's what it's relying on, isn't it? People who know what Haunted House is, I don't have a fucking clue, but if you know about it, then you might be interested. It is what it is.
I guess so. Exactly, yeah. And then we come to Lords of the Fallen, which comes out on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X on October the 13th. A vast world awaits in all-new dark fantasy action RPG, Lords of the Fallen. As one of the fabled Dark Crusaders embark on an epic quest to overthrow Adir, the demon god. I'm guessing it's Adir.
Yeah.
A deer?
It's not a deer, but a deer.
It's a single, a doe, a female deer.
Anyone who's listening to this and not reading the screen that we're reading. Oh, a deer, you say?
A deer.
That's interesting. There was one of those in Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's it. It's Bambi in a Dark Souls way. No, this is actually a Souls-like ARPG.
Yeah.
The interesting twist is it's set in two parallel but interconnected worlds. So you've got the world of the living and the world of the dead.
Yeah.
And they're sort of overlapping and interlinking all the way through.
Yep.
I actually think this could be really good.
I've seen 4 hours played.
Have you?
Yes. So
what was the reaction?
Graphically, it wasn't as good as I thought.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was watching it on stream, so that's not the full story. It will look way better in person.
Yeah.
It seemed decent, though it was weird things, I think, like some of the like dodging or the attacks were very lungy.
Right. Okay.
Like covered a lot of distance. But it did seem quite difficult. That's what I got from it. But I think people who like Souls-likes and like to play a lot of Souls-likes, maybe you've just finished Lies of P and you're like, I'm well into my Souls-likes right now. This could be for you. And you don't want to go down the Dark Souls route. So, but it did seem like very, very much, this is a proper Souls-like.
Yes, yeah. I mean, when you start tossing around words like Dark Crusaders and Demon Gods,
Yeah.
you know what you're looking at. Like,
Yeah, it just seemed. So my girlfriend said to me, "Oh, I was thinking about buying you this," and it's like, I don't want to play it, not because it doesn't look good. It looks excellent, but at the moment, like, this is a game where you have to go, I want to play this.
yeah.
Like, it's not like Elden Ring where you could kind of. Elden Ring is very friendly in its like how open it is.
Got your own time to take. Yeah,
exactly. These types of choreographed Souls-likes, scripted, like the route you go down type thing. You know, multiple routes, but they are corridor type esque games. You got to be on your own game. You got to want it, and it's difficult.
That crossover with the really difficult puzzle games is massive. Like, those Venn diagrams overlap quite a lot.
Yeah.
With the fully choreographed ones. So I think if you're not in the mood for it, yeah, I get you.
It's one of those that in time you might be, and by that and when that comes around, I might fancy the price of it. But
it's on my wish list now. It is sitting on my wish list just for a time I might want it.
I could see it. Like, it looks a good game. It looks like it'll be exactly what you think. I mean, it looks so Dark Souls though. Like, even when they open up the inventory and stuff like that, it's just very much so. If that's your jam, then this is a biggie. But
the naming convention.
Interestingly, is this gonna do anything in this month? Because it's a fucking tough time to be bringing out games, AAA games like this.
Yeah, very true. And then we come to the next game this week, which is Transformers Earthspark Expedition, which comes to everything on October the 13th. Battle and explore as courageous Autobot Bumblebee in an exciting action-adventure to stop his nemesis Mandroid from becoming the ultimate evil cyborg.
Short and sweet.
Yes. This looks like a kid's game. It's an action-adventure where you play as Bumblebee, but it honestly reminds me of old PS2 games. I'm sure that's just me remembering them as better than they were. But that's genuinely the feeling I got with this.
What the fuck has the Transformers IP turned into?
Oh, no, it's ridiculous.
This is tragic. This game looks awful.
It looks really bad, doesn't it?
If you gave this to a kid, can I not play this? Can I play?
I've been playing
any other game
on my phone.
Exactly. Can I just? Can I play Call of Duty on my phone, please? Can I play the shit version they released too early? I don't know. Like, I said when I was looking at this, what the fuck has this come to? Why is this a thing? This is Transformers. How did these people get this IP to make this game?
Yes, yeah. I'm actually really interested, because this then made me look at Outright Games, who are the publisher for this, right?
Yes, yep.
And they've got games such as Jumanji, Wild Adventures, The Grinch, Christmas Adventures, Paw Patrol World, Bratz have a game. Who knew that was a thing? It just basically... Peppa Pig's got a game on there as well, by the way. It basically seems like, one, they do make kids' games, massively so, but two, they've just bought out every flipping franchise they can find.
They're just entrusted. They're entrusted to monetize in a video game form these franchises. I think that's such a waste of the Transformers, though.
Massively. I give you a good example here, Ben. Though one of their more expensive options is Baby Shark Sing and Swim Party.
Yeah, there we
go.
go.
£35, by the way, that costs.
I'm sure that was in the new releases not too long ago.
It was just over a month ago, yes.
What I didn't like about this was that when I went on the Steam page of this, they were advertising... Is that Outright Games? Is that what they put that on there? Like, check out our other games. It's like, hang on, mate, you're trying to sell this one?
Yes, exactly.
They've really got it there front and centre. Like, I'll click here for all these.
Yeah. Don't worry, we got a bunch more like it, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks absolutely shocking. We move on, and improve greatly with SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake. I don't need to focus on this one too long. It's just a console release of a very well-received 3D platformer. Another kids game, but a good one.
Yeah, and last year, I think it was last year, we had the Battle for Bikini Bottom
Something
released,
like
I think, something like that, and that got really well received. I think that was a remaster.
Yeah.
This is a new game. It looks quite funny. Like, if you actually watch the trailers and stuff, it's got that kind of the humor added to it. I think it looks really clean. If you're into a 3D platformer and you like SpongeBob, I like it. I'm down with it. I am down with it.
And there's the dichotomy of our reviews in full force. Yeah. But that moves us on again to Cyber Knights Flashpoint, which comes to PC on October 17th. Squad Tactics Heist RPG. In a cyberpunk setting 10 years in the making, build your crew of hackers, mercs, and malcontents wisely. Their stories will become interwoven with your own. Use powerful cyberware, faction connections, stealth, hacking, and more to outsmart the odds and determine your future. It's XCOM Night City Edition. I'm not a massive fan of how it looks, but in concept, I can see a lot to like there. Like, it's got permadeath, it's got upgradable safe house or base building, which I know Eddie would like if he was here instead of in Greece being a lazy bastard. So if it is actually well executed, if the gameplay is actually good, this could be a good game too. So this game, Cyber Knights, does not look good. No.
It does not look good, but that's not what these games are about. And it is an XCOM style game. Yes. It has piggybacked in its blurb there on Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
So much, like setting 10 years in the making, like, because Cyberpunk took like 10 years to make, and then it talks about mercs and powerful cyberware and hacking and stuff. It's like, hang on a minute, what they are trying to say? This is an XCOM
in
Cyberpunk,
yes, yeah,
in Night City game, yeah. And so when that's happening, maybe that is the best way to advertise their game. But when that is happening, you have to second guess and go, right, okay, so you're not backing your own game, you are really piggybacking. It doesn't look good, but it might play really well.
That's it. I think if the loop is good, it's all forgivable.
Yeah, absolutely. And you only know that when other people put their money down.
100%, yeah, 100%. Wouldn't be taking a risk on it myself, but I will follow reviews.
I think it's one to put on the wish list, though, Cyber Knights. And Eddie, when he listens back to this, I think this is definitely one for Eddie's wish list, because I think it will come down in price. I think it will be cheap as chips at some point. But it could be good.
It could. I do like as well, Ben, trading on the Cyberpunk thing. It even has blades that come out of your arm.
There you go.
But they come out a bit more like the Assassin's Creed blade, instead of like an actual Mantis blade. And it's like
they come out they come out of the wrist rather than the
but back of the
forearm.
wrist, not front of it. Okay. So it's like it's just above the hand joint. Yeah, it's like how they do things like that, just to be different enough. Different enough. Yeah. We're unique in our own way.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the opening price of this would be, whether it's like £15 or...
I reckon it might be a 25, you know. I reckon it might be a 25.
Because at least under the Cyberpunk kind of like category, I assume they have that on Steam or something similar, it will appear, you'd think.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of the name. I don't think that sells it particularly well, but...
Yeah. I always wonder why they add when it's something like Cyber Knights, why do you add Flashpoint on the end?
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're not saying like, oh, Cyber Knight, okay, I recognise that franchise. What is it? Oh, the Flashpoint, yeah, of course, I'm going to buy that one.
That's it. It just, none of it means anything. Anyway, let's skip on. It could be good. That one could be good. And we come to Diablo 4's Season of Blood, Ben.
Season of Blood, yeah.
Comes to everything on the 17th. It's a new season, new quests, new events, new and harder endgame bosses. Is this going to be enough to tempt back the masses that have deserted Diablo 4?
Well, there's one key feature that I think is excellent, that the hardcore is getting a protection, because what would happen if you disconnected previously in other dungeons would be like, well, your character would die.
Yes.
It's an always online game. That happens. Yeah. And weird things could happen, but there is actually now a protection thing that would put you back to town, and that was always the fear when I was doing a hardcore character. I'm not sure whether this is the season to come back on. I haven't really heard too much about this season in particular as to why, but Diablo 4, they had a developer direct for it last week. They are trying their hardest. It's just they had such a drop off in players. It's almost been hard to see, and they caused that themselves by nerfing everything. They fixed it. But by that point, it's like, you fucked it. Games at the moment, these big, huge games, I know Diablo will go on for 10 years, so it'll be fine. But there is a short shelf life. As soon as the loop is destroyed for someone, they move on.
Exactly.
There is another game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's difficult for these live service games to continue on soldiering on. Hopefully it comes back and yeah, I just need to. My girlfriend still plays it every day.
Yeah. This is it. I think it will have its renaissance, but I think this season might not be the moment.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I suspect. I mean, the drop in viewing figures on Twitch, by the way, was hilariously quick. That it's like a skyscraper properly.
Well, it's like different people have different experiences of this. So my girlfriend bought Assassin's Creed, and I'll talk about that a bit later. And she was playing Mirage, and she just put the controller down and went, "Can I play Diablo? Is it okay if I just play Diablo? I just want to play Diablo." And then she just put Diablo back in, and that was the end of Mirage.
That's it. That's how it goes.
She's just like, "I don't want to play this fucking shit. I'm going to play Diablo."
Fantastic. And that is what we're going to hear about in a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, so to people, different things to different people.
Exactly, yeah. Speaking of which, we have a new Sonic game, Sonic Superstars, which comes to everything also on October the 17th. Adventure through the mystical North Star Islands in this all-new take on classic 2D Sonic high-speed action platforming. They hit so many search engine optimization words in a row. It's just
love it. Yeah, love it.
Come on, give me something here. So many, yeah, sure. But this actually is the kind of game I really like to see.
Yeah.
Have a lot of time for old school Sonic. This does just look like massively upgraded old school Sonic. The only drawback for me is it's £55.
Yeah, what's the price on Switch? That's what I want to know.
Even more, I'm sure. Even more.
£100. What's it called? Sonic Superstars.
Superstars, yes.
Superstars Switch price. This is in real time. We're finding this out. Holy shit! It's £55 a game.
There you go. Yeah, £55.
Well, oh no. You can get it on sites I've never heard of, like coolshop.co.uk for £40.
Right. I don't know how
legitimate.
I feel that's also how you may get harvested for details. But yes.
Yes, we do not recommend Cool Shop. I know nothing about them. They might be great. They might be bad. Do so at your own risk.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Let's not push anyone forward here.
Yeah. Not risking anybody's money. But I think it looks good.
Yeah. This is it. We know exactly what this is. It is classic Sonic style gameplay. It looks a lot prettier. They've upgraded a lot of things. You know what you're getting. There is an audience.
I'd like Kirk to get it,
Yeah, it would be fantastic.
I'd like Kirk to get it. After he bought the old Sonics and has probably put in 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I think I would genuinely play this. If I had access to it.
I would definitely play this, but not for £55.
Yeah, if I knew somebody who had it, I'd absolutely play this.
100% jump on it.
Yeah.
Convince your girlfriend to get it, then. That's the key.
Yeah,
that's the key
exactly. I don't think she will be interested, but if she was, I'd fucking love that.
Fair.
Don't think she listens anymore, so I can't even. Oh, if you wanted to be at it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you can always try and tempt it. Anyway, we also have the final one, which I desperately wanted to cull, but I didn't, just for you, Ben. And that is Alaskan Road Truckers.
I celebrate you, Pete.
Which comes to PC on the 18th.
Yeah.
Experience life in the definitive trucker simulator.
Definitive
Trucker simulator. Deliver cargo to make your business a success. Get out of your truck to explore Alaska while maintaining your vehicle and preparing for treacherous conditions on the road.
Yeah.
Have you got what it takes to become an Alaskan trucking legend?
There we go. You can go into a shop and drink a coffee. How good's that?
You have that option in real life, Ben.
I know I did it. I did it. But yesterday, Pete.
There you go. Like
it sickened me doing it in real life and having to spend £4 on a coffee. It really did. I was absolutely furious with myself.
If it was fake money in a fake Alaska, you'd have loved it.
You know what? I went somewhere and I went driving range actually to buy some balls, and then they got a Costa attached to it, and I went, people do, I need a coffee. I'm sleepy, need some caffeine. What a nice thing to do is people buy a coffee. That's a nice experience. Buy a coffee, and it got a nice. Cost of shit, isn't it? £4 for that nonsense.
I know, madness, absolute madness. But
£4.
I feel you're getting away too much from the from what we're talking about, Ben, which is
Alaskan truckers do it.
Alaskan road truckers. Yeah, I mean, come on.
You know what? When I was looking at this, I thought trucking simulator fans are eating good at the moment.
That niche that's about as small as Redfall's player base, they're loving life.
But it's if you do, like, honestly, there will be people out there that fucking love this. And we talk about these games all the time. Like, every 2 or 3 weeks, there's one. Every 2 or 3 weeks, there's one that we talk about like this. It looks lovely.
Does it?
Yeah.
It
looks absolutely lovely.
I mean, it's literally just a worse graphics version of Microsoft Flight Simulator without the ability to fly.
Yeah, but it looks like it's voice acted. In the trailer.
It looks like it's voice acted, right?
In the trailer.
Dear God. Yeah, I mean, if this is what you're into, enjoy it. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Right, it's time for you to pick a game of the week, I think.
Yeah. It's obviously Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, okay, I thought you.
Like, Cyberknights could actually be good.
Could be.
I have a lot more faith that Lords of the Fallen might actually be.
The issue with Cyberknights is that you have no confidence because of the way it looks.
Exactly. Yes, it is ugly.
Yes.
It is ugly. Yes.
Not pretty.
Not at all, no. But that is your new releases.
Cool.
Make the best of it.
Right, well, let's move on to what we've been playing then, I guess.
Indeed.
And I will talk about... I finished Phantom Liberty. So I finished the DLC to Cyberpunk. So
yeah, I'm pretty furious, to be honest, because I still haven't even started that DLC.
Yeah, because you're playing the game.
I'm playing the game.
And I know you haven't got all the time in the world to play video games, but you are playing through the main game, aren't you?
I am, and as always, I'm deeply trying to min-max my levels before I commit to actually doing anything that's important to the game itself.
A lot of the progression in that game with your levels is just doing quests, though, isn't it? Like
it can be, Ben, or you can find a small circle where the enemies respawn in Pacifica and just run that circle repeatedly. That's what you can do.
You get so few points for downing someone.
You get enough, God. I tell you that. And you also
you can do the NPC. You can do the NPC police.
You can do the gigs in police scanners, but you can also just farm, Ben. You can farm.
Yeah, okay.
It works, and you get a lot of guns, which sell for quite a lot of money now.
Yes, so, that is a massive point. Like, the guns sell for huge amounts of money, and that's how you earn.
Yes,
like on every mission, just maxing out, picking up everybody's gun and selling it. Exactly. It's kind of it's actually like one of the things that I do all the time in the game, but it's almost gimmicky. Yeah, it's almost like why is this a thing?
How this economy functions, I do not know.
Yeah, this is not a. These guns would be worthless because they are 2 a penny. I
know. What I also like is the way I've noticed this in Night City is that the most expensive flat in the game, it appears, is about $120,000.
Yep.
Most expensive one. A drink in the afterlife is $150. 150. And
Yeah,
you can
their economy
sell
is all
them-
over the shop.
You can sell them an assault rifle for 600.
Yeah.
It's and everyone's got at least 6 of the things. So it's a strange economy.
But
going on in that
I
world.
really enjoy how once you know that selling guns, because I don't think it clicks with everyone, to be honest. I don't think because for many hours of that game, I was doing the police things to try and get money, because every time you do one of the police missions, there is usually like a cache where it has a couple of grand in or something, and that's how I was earning money. But that's a mugs game. All you have to do is kill those people, take all their guns, sell them, and you got like 20 grand.
Exactly. Yeah. Immediately.
But most people, I don't think people playing it are really realizing that, and it makes everything so affordable. Like, there's never any issues, and that is one brilliant thing that I like. Like, there's so many cool things in that game with the cyberware, and you want to upgrade everything, you want to max everything out, blah blah blah. And now I've got the Edge Runner perk, so I can have plus 50 cyberware over my limit and all that, because I'm fucking chromed up to the nines. Like, this is that's what you want to do. You want to be able to afford everything, and guess what? I can.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it's
it. Well, and the
brilliant.
other bit, the only thing you're losing out on is the components, which obviously play a massive part in upgrades.
Yes.
But they've smoothed over the upgrades. And why bother with the ones that are greens and blues anyway? Because the only ones you really care about are legendaries.
Well, the thing is, like, now certain guns are upgrading guns. It's almost more worthwhile to just get a good gun and then wait for the next tier of guns to come through. Like, you're just waiting for the next. There's no point upgrading guns to different tiers, in my opinion. Like, you could take the what's it called, the Dying
Night.
Night.
The first one.
Yeah, you could take that and you could upgrade it all the way. I mean, I just don't think it's got the power to really rival anything later on. But it's you could, like, I've upgraded a few of those, like Lizzie, the handgun. I upgraded that, and like, you do that, and then you're just like, this is so difficult to have all the components to do to get one little upgrade, and then every gun I'm picking up in 2 hours time is that grade.
Yeah, that's the thing. I will probably upgrade one of the weapons I've got, Jackie's pistol, because it's one of the better stealth pistols in the game.
Yep.
Always was. So I'll probably
that's
keep
the thing.
upgrading that, and I'll report on how I find that process. But it is a lot of components now.
Well, yeah, we were Googling each other the other... we were searching stuff on Google and then messaging each other the other night, like, of the guns that we kind of wanted or had.
Yes.
Because some of the guns that you want to check whether your iconic gun that you've got, which is really high damage, you're like, is this one of the best ones out there? Like, should I invest and be like, this is my one? I think I'm wearing... I think I'm using Roscoe. I think that's my main gun at the moment. But yeah, it's just anyway, it's a phenomenal game. The Phantom Liberty, the DLC, the story was excellent. It left me I was invested.
Okay,
I was
didn't
invested
get teary
in it.
though. Oh, that's what I thought that was leading. Didn't get teary this time.
No, didn't get teary, but I was invested. I felt empty.
Okay.
I felt like my emotions had been taken from me.
Right. Emptier than usual. Okay.
Yeah, and it says something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's excellent, and I'm now carrying on with the rest of the game. That fleeting moment that I had of thinking, oh, I could platinum this and get 100%. Nah, fuck that. I'm just going to do the game. I'm just going to play everything in the game and do everything. But it's like when you realise you missed a trophy or something, and you're like, I think I've locked myself out of that. Oh, fuck it, then I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I realised I've locked myself out of the pet iguana, and I was there like,
Right.
I could go back a couple of hours, and it was like, nah, fuck that.
No, absolutely not. And I'm not a big fan of that either. Like, you know, like, even seeing multiple endings and stuff, and I would do it if you kind of had to, but I think, and a lot of people don't think like this, but in my opinion, I like to play things as my playthrough. Mm-hmm. And I know you could say like, oh, that's my canon, and then the rest of them are just the ones that I've seen. But I like to play it as my playthrough, and it ruins it for me if I go and like, I would play the whole game again and maybe get a different ending, but it ruins it for me just like going back before the last mission and playing.
Yeah,
it's
no,
just,
fair enough.
Seems a bit fucking stupid, but anyway. Well, you want to see the game? It's not stupid, but it just seems stupid in terms of like a storytelling medium,
Yes.
how they make you do it, if you know what I mean. Yes. But I've also been playing more EA FC 24 on the Switch, and it is the perfect game to be playing whilst watching the TV. Absolutely fucking love playing Ultimate Team. I've only played Ultimate Team.
I imagine while watching football, it's pretty fantastic.
Oh, it's immense. Yeah. It's the only. I've only been playing Ultimate Team, and yeah, it's just very, very enjoyable. Like I said earlier, I saw some Assassin's Creed being played by my girlfriend, and then there was a bit that she was finding tough, so I did that bit. The combat seems good. I like it. It's tight. It's got a nice parry system. Okay. I was actually, as soon as I got my hands on it, I was like, oh, okay. I also can't stress enough when you're watching it on stream, this game looks so much better.
Okay.
On your TV or on your monitor or something. It looks really nice. Like really, really nice. When I first saw it on stream, I was like, okay. It didn't do it justice at all. And when you start playing it, I really liked it. For the brief time that I had it, and I might play it now. Like wow. I might actually play it.
Just because there's now a version of it free for you to use?
There's now a free version of me to play, yeah. It definitely makes me more inclined to play it.
There we go, that's what it is. No, I will be interested to hear more. Like, combat being actually hard is a good thing for Assassin's Creed.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think it's like pretty much, I think it was Donnie who said, or somebody, maybe it was the stream I was watching, it was like, yeah, basically 3 or 4 hits and you're like, down. And if you've got like multiple people around you, it gets quite challenging. Yeah. Like my girlfriend was stuck at a particular point where there were many enemies. You couldn't really not be spotted to get this certain key off somebody or something like that. And she's like, "Oh, can you try to do it? I can't. Like, fuck this." And she was basically like trying to fight them all. And I just waited for him to be walking somewhere and just sprinted the fuck and assassinated him. And it was like, and she's like, oh, you can assassinate him. It's like, actually, you can pretty much assassinate anyone, which is amazing. As long as their back is turning, you sprint like fuck towards them. You can do it. And that's what I liked. I was like, okay, I'd heard that. This is an older school Assassin's Creed game. It's in the spirit of the first 2 games. The assassination stealth stuff is really top on the agenda. If you get spotted, it's a tough fucking time. The combat is more akin to those first games than like Odyssey's combat, and it was very, I don't know. I liked it, but this seemed a bit more meaty. And yeah, you get hit a couple of times, you're fucked. And you haven't got loads of health packs, and it just seems better. And you're also not level gated. That's another thing in this game. Like, you don't seem to be level gated. So, do you remember? Did you play any Odyssey or anything like that?
Yes, I did. I played Odyssey for a while.
And like certain islands would just be like, it's always 2 levels above you or something like that. Like, and when something is like 1 level above you or 2 levels above you, it's a fucking joke. Like, it's just really fucking difficult. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's got any of that. And
okay.
Yeah, it seems like a more concise kind of version of it, and I could definitely see myself playing this maybe before Spider-Man, I don't know.
Perfect.
So yeah. But this week I think I'm going to play Payday 3, and excellent. Forza Motorsport is out properly tomorrow, so I'm going to play that, and hopefully play some online matches with John, actually, because he's got Forza already. He's all in. So
lovely.
So yeah, going to play some of that online. And yeah, but Payday 3, I really want to play Payday 3 now that the servers seem relatively stable. I really want to play it.
Yeah, I'm very curious how that one's going to turn out. You know,
I will let you know, because I was hoping to play it before this podcast, but I had far too much work to do today, unfortunately.
Life gets in the way.
It does.
I mean, the reviews haven't started well. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I think that's mainly because of server issues. I did see on Eurogamer, it was like, I think they gave it a 3 out of 5 stars or something, and said that it was something like relentless fun but flawed or something like that. But
see, my favourite review is by someone with 0.7 hours on record that just says, Please give us single player. I fucking hate people.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's one of those games like when I played with Exoprimal, when you can just like not engage with people, and it's almost like you're just playing with good AI.
Yes.
Or people who are just doing their own thing. But I wonder that I don't know really about the mission structure. I don't know whether you have to have any kind of synchronicity to what you're doing, or whether you can just fucking, because everyone's just going to go loud, aren't they? So
yeah.
But I am allowed. I'm a loud player, so
that is your style. That's your method. Yeah.
Yes,
I can see. I'd honestly be interested to hear it, because it does look like it's been review bombed anyway. So, if that's legitimate, it's concerning. But if not, it's yet another one that's fallen to it. 30,000 negative reviews though.
Really?
Yeah.
That's got to be server related, surely.
You'd hope so,
because they couldn't get a game. People couldn't get a game. So yeah, I will let you know. Yes,
indeed. And rounding out the show, we do come on to our feature, which is, again, what key feature do we like in our favourite game genres? So, the whole crux of this is obviously we've been talking about different features in games and which ones are most important. And I thought it was good to get a little bit more personal on that. And be there like, okay, so what is the one key thing that keeps pulling us back to our favourite genre? You know, the one that... Mm-hmm. I think it's very clear to everyone who's listened to us that we all have our little areas, and obviously it would be great to have Kirk and Eddie's involvement in this as well for that. Mm-hmm. But it does still give a bit more of a picture. So the obvious example for me is organic story generation. That's how I put it.
Definitely. That's definitely your thing, yeah.
Yeah, it sort of ties a few things together, but if you look at the big three for me, which is Stellaris, Total War, and RimWorld, that is such a huge part of the experience. Every time you play it, it's different. Everything you do can go wrong at a moment's notice, and generally speaking, you've got no idea what's going to pan out. You know, when you get to the point where you know how it's going to pan out, you restart. That's what happens with those games.
Yep.
But it's also incredibly apparent in a lot of the larger, and I won't say infinite, but larger RPGs. So Bethesda, Starfield is a good example, but Skyrim before it was one. Cyberpunk, to a degree, has this, where you go around a corner and you just find something you didn't expect, and it could be something that no one you've seen or heard from has seen yet. I love that experience. The aliens in Fallout 3 is a good example of that for me, or New Vegas even. Like that alien encounter you can bump into in that. Like before many people have run into it, that was an awesome thing to find.
It's almost like the world being dynamic, but even when it's scripted in an area, it feels like it's you've generated something.
Exactly that. So it's that combination of sort of a sandbox to play in and then random content triggers. Like, you can go ahead with building the most fantastic base in RimWorld, but if you suddenly get a couple of random things happen, it all changes. Yeah. And you've got no idea what's coming next. That is exactly what I like to do. And it's also, by the way, links in a few of the roguelites like Hades, because each run is just so completely different from the one before it.
Yes, yeah, that's true. I think like even like Starfield, what you've been playing recently, and how you played that. Yeah. And by like creating your own goal of like going to these, you said to me like, I just want to go to the furthest solar system I could possibly get to, the highest level one.
Yes.
Like it's that type of thing. Like, what story can I generate for myself? What memory can I have for myself by going there, doing that thing, fighting that thing, and getting that weapon?
Exactly.
You know, that's I could totally get that. I am on a slightly different spectrum, I think.
As we'd expect. Good use of words, yes.
Because I like many different... It's hard to say like my favourite genre, because I like many different genres of games. So I play, I think, probably a more diverse group of games than anyone else here. I think you play indies as well and stuff. So and Eddie obviously plays indies, but they're similar to... He's very survival game orientated and stuff like that.
Building, yeah.
Base building. So
city builder to survival game, but yes.
Yeah, they're indies, but yeah. I play a lot of story driven games. I like story driven action games. I like your big AAAs. I like your Last of Us 2 and all that kind of stuff. RPGs, like your Cyberpunks, blah blah blah. And then I like your indie narratives. Night in the Woods is one of my favourite games.
Very true, yeah.
But
What Became of Edith Finch is also another one I'd...
Yes, I enjoy that. I like those short emotional narrative games. But they are not my favourite games. Like, I enjoy a lot of games, but they're not my favourite. The most important thing for a game to be to really rank one of my favourite games is a lot more abstract. It's like what I term the achievement loop. Yeah. It has to have the loop of feeling like you're hitting a goal and then a new goal appears. And that can be vastly different in so many different genres of game. Like, but it just requires it to be dynamic enough to have a new gameplay hook at all times. What's the next thing? Not every game's got that, because a lot of these games are like story games where it's just like moving through. And it's the thing. Look, Cyberpunk, I think, is the best game I've ever played. It's not my favourite game. It's not my favourite game. I just think it's the best game. Because it hasn't got that for me. It hasn't got like that infinite loop thing.
Yes.
It has got the want to do the next thing, but I know it's finite, and that's why RPGs aren't generally my favourite type of game, because they're finite in where with their questing and all that kind of stuff. But that's okay. They're not designed that way. But what I value most is a game where I think about it when I'm not playing it, and I'm planning what next to do in my playthrough. You probably get this, and that's like when you talked about like Stellaris and stuff there, that's how I imagine it. But I know Stellaris has a finite end where you go like, okay, I've done what I want to do now. So that's why it doesn't fit into this category for me. But you probably still feel that like planning stuff outside thing.
100%, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so leading on to probably my favourite game, and I know it's boring, but it's the game that I've put the most hours into the series, is Football Manager. Like,
of course.
If somebody said you could only play one, I'm always on this search for the fucking forever game. Mm-hmm. I am always on that search, and I would just play one game. Like, it's like I'm trying to play games to find the one game, and then I would just play that for the rest of the time. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, but Football Manager is that which does that, because I think about that outside, and you get so invested and involved, and it's the only game where I've been so into something that you play it for days and days and days. Like, I even fucking started managing a kids football team in real life because I fucking enjoyed being a football manager.
That was an interesting career choice at the time. Yeah,
it was fantastic though. I loved it for a few years. It was brilliant because it was the same thing. I realised it was what in real life I do the same thing. I just want to be thinking about tactics and the game outside the game and all that kind of stuff. It's fucking brilliant. Yes. And I need a goal, and I need to I need this hook, but so many games, and I have this with games which should fit into this category, I get bored overnight. Like, click your fingers and I just get bored. Take Starfield the other week.
Yeah, you did. You went on a sixpence. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was loving it, and I was having I was a weapon mod, and my whole goal was like trying to get all the stuff to then get the maximum weapon mod, and I got it. I was like, all right, shit now. Like, I'd reached my personal goal. This is gash. And then it's the same with like FIFA Ultimate Team that I'm playing now. I'm loving it, but I am just about to. I'm basically at the point where I have like a team good enough for anything. Like, yeah, okay, it doesn't have like 90s play. Who gives a fuck? Like, you got high 80, you got 80s. I've got an average like 85 rating or something. That's absolutely fine. That is capable of beating any one shit hot 94 rated team. You can do it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you've got great players. You're almost at the point where it's like, this is the team that I would choose if I was trying to be cool in the Premier League, like that type of thing. So you kind of completed it, and it's like overnight you lose the impetus because it hasn't got the forever hook.
Yes.
So some games in theory have it, but they lose their edge, and I think that's why I'm not into that's why I can't consider, like, I play games like multiplayer games like COD or whatever. I play it for a few months and then you drop it.
Yes,
because
I think that's very natural though, because once the group you're playing with moves on, it
yes,
just does, doesn't it? Like,
but even like I find like streamers and stuff who play the same game every single day.
yeah.
I would find that soul destroying.
Yeah, fair.
Because it's not the game, but maybe for them it is.
Yes, maybe it is.
But yeah, so the dynamic loop is what I need, and it needs to be something which stands the test of time and isn't just like, oh, I think this has it. Yeah.
Yeah, understandable. And you do continue your hunt for a forever game that so far still eludes us. But
Yes.
if people wanted to wildly speculate on what Eddie and Kirk's things would be,
Oh yes,
or,
please speculate on what their favourite features would be. That would be a good thing. Yeah.
how would they get in touch with us to do so then?
So you can tweet us at GrumpyGamersPod, or email us podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. But yes, we'll be back next week. We'll have a bigger contingent of us. Pete won't be here, but
Yes, yeah, I'm gone.
but yeah,
I'm gone.
but we'll have guests, and let's see how it goes next week.
Exactly. Good luck for it, and for now, it's GG.
GG. That was a quick wrap up.